Hi, this is Byron. I am one of three people that are part of this visit today. I'm from the University of Wisconsin-Stout. Stout is one of a number of schools in the University of Wisconsin system. I'll toggle back and forth on these. So the location of our campus is just east of Minneapolis, St. Paul, about a hour drive. We are a campus of about 7,000 students, and the program that is the focus of this has to do with our computer networking and information technology program. We became a CAE designee in 2017. One of the opportunities that made possible for us was to be qualified to participate in the Department of Defense scholarship program. And so we have had success with promoting the scholarship, have had some good applications. The DoD has fondly looked upon one or more of those candidates, but also we were able to then come alongside with the additional projects. And the project that we focused on was really to reach out to technical colleges in our region that Matt will speak about in just a little bit. So because our names are on this slide, let me introduce those people to you at this time so you'll recognize their voice. Again, I'm Byron Anderson. That's this voice you hear.
I'm Holly. I'm the program director of computer networking and information technology.
And I'm Matt Wysocki. I'm an office assistant. A portion of my time is spent in service to this initiative.
So I'm going to just speak a little bit about the endeavor that we participated in. So you can see on the first slide there were two dates that were part of this Department of Defense funding that we received. And so we hosted two cyber curriculum workshops that focused on community and technical college IT instructors. So Wisconsin and Minnesota is our realm of influence and ability to reach out to those people. And so over those two particular dates, we focused on, at our DoD grant workshop, really helping those instructors have hands-on experience with quite a large array of hacking and similar type of labs that Holly will speak to specifically, so you'll have a chance to see what those labs were. We have used that workshop as an opportunity to talk through and promote the two-year CAE application, and that we can come alongside those community and technical colleges. And then our campus has a strong practice of transfer agreements with technical colleges. The University of Wisconsin-Stout had its roots in really manual training, industrial arts in our initial days in the 1800s. And so we continue to have strong relationships with our two-year technical and community colleges. And so have been very purposeful with facilitating the transfer agreements. So let me let Matt speak then a little bit more specifically about the DoD grant workshop.
Hello, everyone. This is Matt Wysocki. I'll speak a little bit about the planning and the logistics involved in attracting representatives from technical colleges in the regions to the two workshops Byron referenced. On this slide, again, you can see University of Wisconsin-Stout in Menominee, and then the little red hats each correspond to a technical college, a total of 25 that were invited to both of these workshops. The invitation was sent out to these colleges about a month and a half in advance of the event. I think it's important to get a good head start in order to give time to sort out who is the best representative at those colleges to come. We have, in the list on the right, we have relationships with many of those colleges, not necessarily in the cybersecurity program, and some were fairly new or brand new relationships for us to establish. So part of the process was a search of each of those colleges' websites and they're all very different. And so you have to give enough time to this process to figure out what is the program that you're seeking a relationship with and who is the decision maker. And it really varied across that list. Some of them, just reaching out to the IT instructor was enough and they say, yep, I'm on board, count me in. Others, you don't get a response. And so then you try maybe a different instructor. Some of these colleges have many instructors and it's finding the one that is, who is most willing to come. Other times involve contacting a lead instructor or a dean or an associate dean of the college and inviting them to identify someone who is best suited for this opportunity. So then once we identified who those individuals were, then we sent out additional details about the event. As part of our grant, we had funding to cover all of the travel expenses for anyone who attended. So that included their mileage to and from the event, hotel stay, or 2 nights if they had to drive a long distance, for instance, from southeastern Wisconsin or Milwaukee to Menominee is over a 4-hour drive. And also their meals while they were here, which we had a combination of catered meals and snacks during the day, and then a dinner the evening between the 2 days. So of those 25 institutions, here you can see the 25 that were invited. Here browned out are the ones that didn't attend, and you can see that we got almost all of them to attend. I think only 5 in the list elected not to send someone to one or the other workshops. All in all, a total of 37 instructors attended at least one of the workshops, and that includes 20 who came back for the second workshop earlier this month. Between workshops, the attendees were invited to a dinner at a local establishment where we would a brief meeting time, introductions, and then in a more casual, open environment, they could connect with colleagues, meet with colleagues in across state lines, maybe who they hadn't met before, to talk about partnership opportunities, to meet with UW-Stout faculty and students who were helping out with the event, and get to know each other a little better, which is a really nice touch in between days, because then the second day you do have, I guess, a little more developed relationships to work with. During the first workshop in November, we spent more time talking about the CAE application process and the grant opportunities in order to position UW-Stout as a gateway for these institutions if they wanted to follow this track for themselves along the 2-year option. In the second workshop, we spent a little less time on that, although we were still available to answer questions about the CAE process. We spent more time on the cybersecurity labs that Dr. Wan will talk about in a few minutes. We saw this opportunity as more than just a conversation around the labs, though we saw this as an opportunity to deepen the relationships that, as Dr. Anderson mentioned, we already had as an institution with these technical colleges, just by virtue of the fact that UW-Stout is Wisconsin's polytechnic institution. That relationship in manual training and technical education has already created a natural affinity with many of these. But in order to deepen that, since we were bringing these individuals to our campus, we offered to go to their campus as well and to set up what we call we are calling an IT ambassador initiative, whereby one individual at each of these institutions is invited to serve as a conduit for their students back at a 2-year institution to continue into a 4-year degree at UW-Stout later. So far to date, we've been able to establish IT ambassadors at 3 of the institutions on the map, and we have more in the pipeline as well. Later this semester, in a few weeks, we'll be going out to those institutions, and those ambassadors then help us set up our UW-Stout table. They can set up meetings with their students who might be interested, so they could have a more focused discussion about degree options, and we can talk about the cybersecurity programs and initiatives at UW-Stout, and also the grant opportunities. Of course, we can provide our materials and just offer more information about how they can continue their education. It's also a chance for us, when we're at their college, to meet with administrators, to talk about articulation and transfer options, and just create more of a face-to-face personal relationship, again, in the interest of widening that pipeline of students who might continue into a 4-year or beyond cybersecurity related degree.
Go ahead, Holly.
All right. So yeah, Matt just to talk about, we got almost 40, more than 40, right? 40 community technical college instructors, 10 workshops, and the test the SQL hacking labs. For the workshop, part of the workshop is to get those instructors to test those SQL hacking labs, and then we build 45 SQL hacking labs. The number look really big, but each labs is, we call them nuggets. Probably between the 30 to 40 minutes for people to finish each labs. We give people 2 different options to do the labs, and we understand some of the community college, they might not have servers. So the one solution is we put all the VMs in a VMware workstation. So all those, the virtual machines is pre-built with the security tools or with the vulnerabilities. And we assemble them, export them as an OVA template. That means we can deploy easily, quickly. So for example, for the 40 instructors, we literally take one afternoon, my students and I deployed 1,000 VMs. So that's how quick, easy to deploy all those VMs. So that's one solution, VMware Workstation. Another solution we provide is, we understand sometimes the laptop may not have enough resource to run over 9 or 10 virtual machines. So another solution we provide is ESXi. So all the VMs running in the ESXi box. So we have 4 HP servers, each server running between 100 to 150 virtual machines. And the ESXi version we are using 6.5. 6.5 has a really nice feature. It allows us to isolate the VMs among the different users. So when the user log in, you see this user 1 password, he only can see his VMs. So we don't need to implement called nested virtualization, which is that's ESXi 5 or 6. So it's a really nice feature. So people just log in and user log in and just see his own set of VMs. And you can see those are the VMs we are using. We have Android, which is open source. It's open source. And the CentOS, open source. CSR 1000V, that's a Cisco cloud routers, which we use for DHCP servers. So that's not free, but Cisco may provide a free licensing. We are Cisco Academy, so we have a CSR. So, and then the Kali, that's a free. Matplotlib is free. Ubuntu is free. The only thing that's not Server 2012 or Windows 7, you may have 180 days free trial licenses. So we want to make it cost efficient. So that's the whole point of doing this SQL hacking labs. First, easy to deploy, quickly deploy. Second, cost effective. So for the community college or for college that has a budget constraints, this doesn't cost anything. So let's go back to, so this is we provide a username and password for each VMs. Again, those VM has been pre-assembled. We customize it. They all have standardized username and password. For the Windows, we have administrator, but for all the others, Linux-based, CSR, mass portable, Android, including Android, we customize same username and password. Let's go back to the 45 labs. Let me go over the 45 labs briefly. So there are many other SQL hacking labs available. When I first taught this class, I'm using Maria Valley Community College. I think the writer is John. He actually got a grant, NSF grant, to write that set of SQL hacking labs. The lab is well developed, but I end up stop using his labs, mainly because I feel it's a little outdated. The quality is really good. It's very, very good, but because using XP, still using XP, Windows Server 2003, I don't think there's a cloud labs, IoT. There's no any mobile device security labs integrated. So I end up say, okay, I'm gonna write my own labs. So during the past couple of years, little by little, so I built up this 45 labs. So there's the background why I'm doing this. So the first lab is to set up the lab environment. I give students two different options too. Our UW-Stout have a laptop program. Each students have, school give the students laptop. So we have students have option to put all the VMs in their own laptop. But the student's laptop only have 8 gig of RAM. It could work, most of the time work, but there's one labs need 5 VMs running at the same time. That labs could be a little frustrating because it's kind of run slow. So I also give students an option. We have a HP server in the labs. They can install ESSi, put on ESSi box. So lab one is set up a lab environment. And then from there, I'm just follow that hacking cycle. We start a footprinting, enumeration, reconnaissance. So we gather the email harvesting, who is the database, netcraft, trying to find the vulnerabilities, personal information gathering, and then copy the websites, NS lookup, collect information with Google search operators, analyze the data, the bit by using bit byte, but using the TCP dumps, vulnerability scanners, enumerating users by using the SID, and then a couple of enumeration labs, LDAP, SMP, NTP enumerations, and Nmap scanning, and the netcats. So that's the footprinting, enumeration, recon. And then after we gather the information, finding vulnerabilities, and then we go to the next module, which is called a password cracking, the Stego. So we start to sniffing password with Wireshark, and then hacking the Cisco routers with a Hydra. That's why you see we have a CSR 1003, that's a virtual machine. That's how we just using these labs. And then we crack the Windows Linux password with a Hydra. And we use Netcat to show students how to bypass the firewalls. And then we use a John Reaper to crack Windows Linux password. And a password hash attack by using CanAmber, a remote table password crack, and how to conceal a file with a Stego, and Windows 7, 8, 10, 12 password cracking with remote tables, resetting password. So this is all the password crackings, this module. Then go on, next one is we do the Facebook social engineering. by using the Kali Linux built-in tool called the SET, which we'll talk about in a second. And then we show how to create a Trojan backdoor with Metasploit and the skill that, for example, Paypoint password, username and password. And then how to verify the hash file, how to do the denial of service tag, with HPing3, and the DHCP Salvation tag, and the main in the middle tag, and the cross-site scripting tag. So this is all focused on the network side, because this program, our program is computer networking. So we teach the students how to set up a network, but then we teach them how to hack network. And then next is how to lock down. I'll follow that module, we go to the SQL injection, buffer overflow, and then move on with wireless. We do have a wireless class. In that class, we teach students how to set up a WPA2 wireless network, and then we teach them how to hack them into it, how to find the hidden SSID and then bypass MAC filtering, and telephone voice over IP wiretapping, how to wiretap the phone call, capture the voice call, and replay, and how to root exploit for the Android, jailbreaking iOS device, and hacking the IoT device, hacking from AWS cloud, and hacking the cloud. I think this module is the most current ones, which I say that's the purpose we kind of not using Marine Valleys, because we integrate the voice, we integrate cloud, we integrate the Android, iOS, and the IoT device, So the next is the post-exploitation. We show them after you get into the system, how you can transfer the files, and how to escalate the privilege from normal user to root users, and how you cover the tracks so people don't know you get into the systems. So that's in total 45 labs. Again, so 45 labs, each lab pretty much 30 to 45 minutes. We want a nutty size, so small size. In my class, Advanced Security, students finish this 45 labs in 4 weeks, and then we move on to a project, because these labs are like step-by-step guide. It's a bus tour, like I'm a driving student, just take the bus. So if they just do those labs alone, I don't feel they are sufficient. So that's why 4 weeks later, we move on to the final project. They have to set up a network, a live network, which is like a dental clinic network, which contains all the network infrastructures, voice, wireless, cloud. And then they're gonna hack into the live network to they hire a consultant, which is another group. They have to sign a contract to get other people, to get the group permission to hack into the network. And then they're gonna hack into live network by using all those skills they learn in these 45 labs, hacking into the network. And then they're gonna discuss the penetration testing result. And then after getting the penetration testing result from other group, they're gonna lock down their network based on the recommendations. And then they're gonna do the IT auditing, get the group back again to the IT auditing and to see if they need a HIPAA compliance. So let's get back to this 45 labs. The first workshop, we tested 13 different labs in November 2018. So we got 30 instructors coming, and we did 13 labs pretty much in 1 day. Yeah. So lab 1 is a virtual machine IP address in discovery. So just go to each virtual machine, trying to find an IP address and write it down. Then we move on to the website copy with HTTP. So you can make an offline copy of websites. So you don't need to leave your mark footprint. So you can go to each, download the website to local directories, recursively, or directory HTML, image, videos. We actually make a copy of Facebook. That's gonna take hours. But we show them you can make a copy of Facebook offline. So then move on next lab, Nmap and footprinting. We show them how to use Nmap to scan the network to find the open ports. So what operating systems that victim machines running, what kind of service is running. So to find the vulnerabilities. And then when we move on, next labs, Netcat, to show how to use the Netcat to read write to the TCP UDP ports, to chat between two virtual machines, to transfer file between two virtual machines, reverse shell, and create a backdoors. Netcat, pretty cool labs, these labs actually. And the next labs is use Wireshark to sniffing the passwords, to telnet the passwords, capture the packets, filter the packets, analyze the packets. So yeah, this lab we're using CentOS Windows 7. And then move on. Next labs is hacking Cisco routers with a Hydro. So we use a Cisco cloud router CSR 107V with Kali Linux building password cracking tool called a Hydro. So we can show how to crack SSH password, HTTP, telnet, all the password. Bypassing the firewall with Netcat. First, we show how this lab we're using Masterflow 2 and Windows 7. So we show how to set up create a firewall rule in Linux machine to block the SSH traffic. And then we show how to use Netcat to redirect SSH traffic. So then we can bypass that rule and we can still use the SSH. So that's a Netcat. No, you haven't used a Netcat. That's really very cool tool. Yeah. So we have two labs to cover Netcat. And next lab is a rainbow table password attack and how to use the rainbow tables to crack password hashes. So we're using the Vista. So this lab is using Windows 7 with AutoCrack. So AutoCrack, we pre-load it into the Windows 7. So it has built-in Vista free rainbow tables. So we're using that rainbow tables, crash the hashes, find the password. Next lab is concealing a file with Stego. Yeah, it's we use the Kali Linux, to show how you can conceal a file, a message, your bank account information, image, videos, any image file with another file. So that's a Stego Labs. And then next labs is the Facebook social engineering tag. So we show how to use Kali Linux building tool called the social engineering toolkit, set tool, to conduct social engineering tag. So you send you a phishing emails, look really real, look like a Facebook, and then you click that link, and then you punch your username and password, and then your username and password will be shown in my machine, Kali Linux machine. And then you will get an error message to say, oh, you may type something wrong, actually redirect you to the real Facebook. So you never even realize you're being hacked. So that's a Facebook social engineering tag. And the next labs create a Trojan backdoor with Metasploit. So for this lab, we're using Kali Linux, okay? Meterpreter payload to create the Trojan backdoors, and then you download the backdoors in your machines, and then I screen capture every single keystroke you type. So in the labs, I get the victim machine, go to his PayPal, and type his username password of PayPal, and I'm gonna show on the Linux, the attacker's machine. So that's a Trojan backdoors. And the next lab is SymFlat tag, deny service tag. So we use Windows Server 2012 to set up a web page, and then we use HPIN3 to craft denial service tag to send like 10,000 packets, Windows size 64, for example, non-stop to crash that server till the server crash. Most of the time, not just server crash, not just website crash, the whole machine crash. You cannot do anything, you have to reboot the whole machine. So that's the SymFlat denial service tag. And then move on to next lab is the DHCP Salvation tag. So in this lab, we use Cisco CSR routers to set up a DHCP servers. And then we use a Kali Linux DHCP Salvation tag to send a spoofing DHCP offer mass packets. So at the end, all those request DHCP requests. So at the end, all those address in the DHCP pool has been depleted. So the legit users cannot get IP address. So that's a DHCP Salvation tag. Next one. Okay.
We're now giving Holly just a moment to catch her breath. So those were highlights from the labs that she and Brandon were leads on and developers of. That happened, as a reminder, in November of 2018. And we had extended our invitation out to technical colleges that are both in Wisconsin and Minnesota. And as you saw earlier, Matt talked about those that attended. And so we had very good attendance, we feel. And so now just this earlier this month, we moved into our second cyber workshop with the technical college instructors who attended. And Holly's had a chance to catch her breath, and she'll now give you a feel for those labs, as I know that many of you are primarily interested in that.
Oh, okay. Can you go back to the previous slides? Okay, so for the second workshop, which happened 2 weeks ago,
Right.
It was so long ago, but just 2 weeks ago. And this time we did a little different. We still have virtual machines for them to conduct some lab, but also we have a live network set up. So you see on the pictures, we have the switch, okay, Cisco router switch, and HP servers, okay, hiding in the bottoms, and we have a voice, the Cisco IP phones, okay. So the live network setup is for the next couple labs. So the first labs we build, can we go to the next slide? So next slide, yes, we set up a wireless network, WPA2 network. So then we show them how to boot into the live Kali using the air crack to crack this WPA2 password. You'll be amazed how easy to scan the wireless, all those available SSIDs, including hidden SSIDs, how easy to do denial service tag on this wireless, because we need to DOS. You can DOS all those available, the SSID you find, and then you capture the four-way handshake, and then you use the genre river to crack the WPA password. In the lab, we intentionally find a password in the middle of the genre river, the list, the password list, which take about 10 minutes. But if you are using the password like for example, password, or Cisco, or easy password, or let me in, literally take a million seconds to crack it. So this lab is very significant to tell the students, say, WPA2 is not secure. In order to secure the wireless, we got to implement 802.1x with the radius. So that's the labs we covered in the wireless class. But it's good labs covered here just to show how vulnerable the wireless network could be. And then we move on to next lab is still the wireless labs, because a lot of the time people think, okay, I'm hiding my SSID so nobody can see my SSID. Also, I'm gonna just associate my MAC address, okay, with this the wireless. So only my MAC address get into the this wireless. So in this lab, we show how to find this hidden SSID. Even if it's not broadcasting, we can still find a hidden SSID. And after we find a hidden SSID, how we can de-authenticate the clients. By de-authenticate, we can find the client's MAC address. And then we can use MAC changers, once command in the Linux, to change the MAC address, to spoof the MAC address. So we can connect to this hidden SSID with MAC filtering. So that's these labs. And then we move on to wild typing the voice over IP calls. So this is a pretty cool labs. So this is just to show you how easy you could be wild tapped. So we have the Cisco switch. So people come to plug in their the USB to serial adapters to the console cables, and then connect to the Linux to connect to the switch to configure a stand session on the Cisco switch, which literally capture the packets and then redirect the packets to destinations. After you capture those packets by using a Wireshark, the Wireshark can replay the voice packets. Replay. So when you conduct this lab, one thing problem we encounter is a voice call. If you use a Wireshark replay the voice, have to be G.711 codec. If you're not using G.711 codec, you have to use another tool to replay, but it's still quite easy, straightforward. So everybody say, oh, that's really cool, because that's give you the idea how easy to wiretap a phone call. Yeah, and next labs, we move back to using the virtual machines. Actually, no, we're conducting a penetration testing from AWS. So in these labs, so we're gonna show how to create a new AWS free tier account. So after they set up the free tier account, log in AWS, then they're gonna spin up a virtual machine, Kali Linux virtual machine in AWS cloud. And from there, they can, using the Kali Linux in the cloud to do some penetration testing. So for example, in the lab, we show them how to do the in the Kali in the cloud to do the email harvesting. But one thing we tell the people is you got to beware what you can do, what you cannot do from the cloud, because you don't want to get screamed by the AWS lawyer. Those people say you do something illegal from the cloud. So just let everybody know. But there's an option you can build a labs from the cloud, but at the same time be careful about the legal aspect. So next lab is hacking Android. So in this lab, we show them how easy, if you not aware users not have well security awareness, you download something you're not supposed to download, people can get into your Android, literally can turn on your webcam, can download your pictures, to download your music. That's just why we hear so many, the celebrities got hacked. So that's just show how to hack into Android. For this one, we are using Android VMs. Android has a free download version of virtual machines. You can download free. It's pretty cool, actually. So yeah, that's next lab. We move on the buffer overflow. We build these labs even though we are not computer science major focus, but software development, secure software, programming, coding is always primary concerns. So in this lab, we just show them how easy to write C programs without security concerns, and how easy to exploit a buffer by smashing the stack and then causing the return address. You modify the returning address to execute a piece of code you're not supposed to. So for example, in the labs, we show etc shadow. So normal users shouldn't be able to execute this command, but because we smash the the stack, so the normal user just can execute this command. So that's a buffer overflow. Next lab is SQL Injections. This is a pretty cool labs too. So we are using the Metaplottable, has a built-in called a DVWA, called a Damn Vulnerable Web Applications. So it allows you to experiment with MySQL injections. It's really cool labs actually. At the end of the labs, we export the deep SQL injection. We actually use the John River to crack all the users' password. So that's the MySQL, injection labs. So the last, yeah.
So I think we're coming to the end of our time here. We want to ask for questions at this time. Maybe while you're thinking of that, we can go through some of the feedback that the workshop participants, who I should add had a lot of demand for these labs. Of course, part of the enticement for them to participate is that they'll have access to use these labs back at their home institutions in their own classroom with their own students. And also part of the point of the labs was to test these labs and to get some feedback from the participants as well. And here you see some of the comments that were received by and large. They really enjoyed the experience, and as noted before, a number of them came back for the second workshop to get more. We only went through 7 or 8 of the labs each time, and so they wanted more, and of course some are still under development.
All right, so I don't see any questions that have come through. Again, this has been, all right. Well, Cody, we can appreciate your interest, and feel free to contact your people or contact us. So the programs that we do here at Stout, quite a bit of our stuff is also an online program, but that's a topic for another time. If you're interested in more information about these, I invite you to take and reach out to contacting Holly, myself, or Matt directly. At this time, we are not planning to post those labs to a public space, so you need to engage with Holly directly on those. All right, well, I guess that's the end that we have here. Thanks for listening today, and from the University of Wisconsin-Stout, have a great semester. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to be posting a link where you guys can find today's recordings as well as materials from their presentation. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for showing up.
Thanks. Bye-bye.